Okay, so we want to run through some of these problems, make sure we did okay with them. A couple of reminders, guys and girls. So, um, if you are absent, if you're absent for whatever reason, doesn't matter. Just know if you log on to Schoology, my notes and video are there, and it's an expectation that you do watch it when you're gone. Doesn't matter if you're sick or not. You can sit on your living room couch, unless you have your appendix falling out or something like that. You should be able to take care of that. Okay. Good stuff. Your appendix basically was an organ that's about the size of a small worm. Lays right here, first part of your intestines, and was actually used back in the day when we used to eat animals and we ingest the hair as well. But it's a good thing we don't eat the hair anymore, so it's kind of become a organ we don't use very often.
Oh, is that why you can get your appendix taken out and you won't die?
Wood, hair, and teeth, and whatever else we might have eaten back in the day when we didn't have canned food and ramen noodles. So, it is. All right, so, and then, so, just a reminder. So, we did have something that was on Schoology, a little quiz. It was worth 4 points. Okay? If you did it, you got points. If you didn't do it, it's not hurting your grade. Okay? I now have a second thing in Schoology. And this one will be due on Friday. It says something like quiz 2 or something like that. Okay? So I had these little tiny quizzes in there. They're not worth like a huge test thing, but it goes in the test category, which they should be relatively simple. The last one was pretty quick, yeah? Was the first one for completion? Yeah, it was just matching. Oh. So, if you got it right, you can get from 0 to 4 points. I had a lot of 3.113s on there or something like that because -5 squared, not in parentheses, is -25, and -5 in parentheses squared is positive 25. So,
I was so confused.
Yeah, I know. I only taught it, so you could have went back and looked at it a few times. But
I was looking at my notes too.
Good.
And I was so
maybe you should do your notes in crayon.
President, do you actually do your notes in crayon?
Oh my gosh.
I feel like that's like
All right, here we go. Shh. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. Is there any of those you would like to see? 1, 2, 3, or 4? This is on pages 7 and 8. 3. You got it. So problem number 3, they give us this as an answer. So where is the decimal sitting on this problem right now?
after the
Alright.
four.
Yeah, it's sitting right here, correct? Okay, so we want to make this to be 6.00 times, I don't know what I'm doing, sorry. Alright, so I want to make it look like this. So I'm going to fill in the blanks. So will I use all of the numbers of 600 and 4? No. So I'm going to go 600. When would I make that a 1? When would I round up? Yeah, if that was a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, that would become a 1. Right now it doesn't. Okay? Now, my decimal moves from here, 1, 2, 3, so it's 6.00 times 10 to the third. Guys and girls, a singleton spot, a decimal, and then 2 more spots is all you need. Okay? Yeah, but my science teacher, good. I'm just telling you in here, I only need 2 decimal places. Okay? Any other questions of 1 through 4? Yeah. 2. All right. Okay. So I want this to look like this. Okay? So I'm going to go 4.50, because technically there's another 0 behind it, correct? The decimals here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's times 10 to the negative 5. The negative signifies that you are dealing with a decimal. Okay, 1 through 8. Anything from 1 through 8 you would like to take a look at? 1 through 8. Yeah.
Number
6. Which one you got? 6 and 7. Okay. Yeah. And 8. All right. 6. Now, this one's kind of goes against with what I'm saying so far as scientific notation. Why am I saying that? Yeah, so it went out 3 spots. So it's kind of, they're being dirty math on this. Okay, this negative means that I'm going to move my decimal this way. So it's a really small decimal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 8, 9. I guess I could do that. Okay, so what happened here was this moved this way 5 spots. So it was here, so we went 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 7, 6.5 times 10 to the third. So this is going to mean that it's the decimal is going to move this way now. So it's 1, 2, and 3. So technically, this is where my decimal is sitting now. I don't need to have that error there, but 6,500 is our answer. And then number 8, we have 4.2 times 10 to the negative 2. So my decimal is going to move this way to the left. So I have, okay, so this, it was sitting here, so what, 1, 2. So that's the answer, number 8. I did 10 and 13, is that correct? We did that as class. So anything other than 10 and 13, you want to see it from 9 to 16. 9 to 16. Yeah. 11? Okay, so when we're dealing with scientific notation, we're going to multiply these together first, and this is going to give me 20. Now, we need to get my answer to look like this. Okay? So right now, the decimal's sitting right here on the 20, agreed? Okay? And then, if we have 10 to the negative 4 times 10 to the 8, I could make it tug of war, or I could just add them together. I mean, I could make it this. Right? Tug of war, who would win, top or bottom? Top by how many? 4. Okay? So, right now, this answer is this. But that's incorrect. Why is it incorrect? I want the decimal right here, correct? All right, so 2.00. Okay, so let's think about this. This means that if that's raised to the 4th, I'm going to go 0, 0, 0, 0. So, but if I move the 0 one more time this way, what does this number become? 5. Yeah, it becomes a larger number. What other numbers up through number 16? 10? We did 10 on notes. Yeah. 12. Okay, first thing I want to look at is, what is 6 over 2 reduced to? 3 over 1, or just 3. Is that all right? So I want my answer to look like this. Okay, so far I'm going to have 3 and then 00. I won't have to move the decimal at all because it's not appropriate. Tug of war with the 10s. Who wins, top or bottom? Top by how many? 2. So 3.0 times 10 to the second power is my answer. What other problems 10 through 16? Or 9 through 16? Yeah, go ahead, Ren. 13. I would have done it in class on my video. Watch it. What else? 15. Okay. So this is a power-to-power scientific notation. Agree? So how many 3 times 10 to the thirds am I dealing with? I'm dealing with 2 of them, right? So I'm dealing. This could be written like this. Agree? Make sense? So let's do our math. 3 times 3 is 9. Oh, cool. So we don't have to worry about this too much. Okay? And then like bases, what do I do with the exponents? I add them. Okay? No tug of war on this one, so times 10 to the 6th. So my answer is 9.00 times 10 to the 6th. Other questions up through number 16. Yeah? 14. Okay? First thing I'm going to take a look at is the 2 over 5. So I'm going to look at this part right here. So 2 over 5 won't reduce, but this is the same thing as 0.4. Okay, if you do it on your calculator, you go 2 divided by 4, you get 0.4. Okay? Again, we're going to want to have this like this. Okay? Tug of war with the with these. Who wins? Top or bottom? Bottom. So 10 to the 6 is on bottom. Okay, now, quick question. How would I move that 10 to the 6 up? What's going to change? Yeah. Yep. So that'll change to this. Good, good, good. All right, so right now, I have 0.4 times 10 to the negative 6, which would mean if I converted this, I would have 6 zeros and then a 4. So if I change this to this, I'm moving the decimal. Okay? So is that negative 6 going to be a negative 7 or a negative 5? Don't shout it out. Think about it. So think about this. 0.4 So think about this. If I were to convert this into a true decimal, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. Okay? That's how it's sitting. So if I wanted to move this decimal to the backside of the 4, what is this going to become? Move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where it was. Goes there. So that's to a negative 7. The negative 7 talks about that we're dealing with a really small decimal. Anything else up through? Yeah. 16. All right. Okay, we're talking to a power to a power. How many 7 times 10 to the negative 5th am I multiplying together? 2 of them. So I could rewrite it out like this. Okay, let's take care of my 7s first. So I'm going to get 49. Will I have to move a decimal on this one? Yeah, I'll have to move a decimal. Right now the decimal's sitting right here. We'll have to move it eventually. Okay? I do have negative exponents, but I have like bases. I can add the exponent, so 10 to the negative 10. Is that okay? All right, so now I want to move this decimal to here. So let's think about this. 4.90. Okay, so if I were to have 49 point times 10 to the negative 10, that means that I'm going to have this for an answer. That's my answer. If I converted it. If I wanted to put my decimal right here, if I move this back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, did I not? Oh, I should have one more zero on there. So that should be to the negative 11. If I could count, I'd be a much better teacher. Okay, so scientific notation, sometimes you have to logically think what your answer would be. Scientific notation does have a number, a decimal, and then 2 more numbers as far as this class goes. Yes, there are other classes that will say, oh, take it out much further. In the math community, 2 decimal places is appropriate. Okay? Let's flip over to page 8. Page 8. Page 8. What do we have on page 8 we'd like to see? Yeah. 2, 1. Okay. Okay, so this is no longer scientific notation. It's just kind of reducing fractions, getting rid of negative exponents. There we go. Okay. So, first thing, I have 2 numeric values. What number goes into 12 and 20? What's the largest number that goes into 12 and 20? 6 won't go into 20. Goes into 12 though. 2 goes into both, but it's not the largest. 3 doesn't go into 20. 4. All right, we got it there. All right, so 4 goes into 12 3 times. 4 goes into 25 times. Is that okay so far? What is going to happen with this right here? What happens with that? It moves up. So how many x's are on top then? 8. What happens with this? It moves down. How many y's are on bottom then? 9. There's your answer. Yeah. Negative exponent is in the wrong spot. So if it's negative on top, it moves to the bottom. If it's negative on bottom, it moves to the top. If it's not a negative exponent, it stays where it's at. Okay? That's why I boxed those 2. That's why this did not come down. Does that make sense? Yeah. 26. We have d to the 3rd to the 5th. D to the negative 4 to the 3rd. Okay, we're going to deal with a negative exponent up here, but let's not deal with that yet. Right now we're talking to a power, and when exponents are on top of each other, they multiply. So if I take care of this first, that's d to the 15. If I take care of this, that becomes d to the negative 12. Is that okay? Will either of those switch spots? Yeah. Yeah, d to the negative 12 needs to move down. So I'm going to rewrite this not having a negative exponent. So I have d to the 15 on top, d to the 12 on bottom. Okay? Tug of war? Who wins? Top by how many? There you go. D to the 3rd. I could have d to the 3rd over 1 if I wanted to. Sweet. So, good. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
To skin a cat?
Yeah. Go look it up. It's an old saying. Go ahead. 19. 19 what? 19 and 27. 19, 27, and 25 you said? Yep. 19. Okay, item number 1. I have a negative 2 as a number. Does that mean it moves down? No. I can just have a negative number. It's not a negative exponent, correct? Okay, so I can just go ahead and multiply my numbers together. So I'm going to go negative 2 times 3, so I'm going to get negative 6. Is that okay so far? Do one of the numbers move down? Yeah, so this is going to be this so far. Is it done? No, I can do tug of war. Who wins, top or bottom? Top, by how many? 1. So I get negative 6m to the first, which means I could just write it like this. All right? 27. I have a grouped thing up here, so that's power to a power. Then I have this. Okay, so let's take care of the power to a power first. Now, how many 2xy's are being multiplied together? 2. So this is going to say, this comes in here, this comes in here, this comes in here. So my new top is going to become 4x squared, y squared. My bottom is going to be this for right now. Is that okay? I'm not done. I'm just trying to work through it. Can I reduce 4 over 8? 4 over 8 reduces to what? 1 over 2. Agreed? Now, I might need to keep that 1 up there if everything goes downstairs, but I might not have to keep it. Okay? What is going to happen with this? Moves up. Does the x to the second move down? No. Okay, so how many x's are on top?
5.
So I can make that now an x to the 5. Okay? Y's, tug of war or combine? Tug of war, who wins, top or bottom? Bottom by how many? There it is. So, is it wrong if I had 1x to the 5th? No, but it's just a little sloppy, but it's the same. So it's up to you if you want to have 1x to the 5th as an answer, or at the top. Okay, 28. 25 and then 28? Is that what you said, 28? Okay, 25. X5 over Y4 times, this is grouped, so that whole group is raised to the 6th power. So let's get rid of that exponent outside the parentheses first. That's going to distribute to here and to here. So I get x to the 5th on top, y to the 4th on bottom. That's just going to come around for the ride. Y to the 6th on top, x to the 6th on bottom. I'm multiplying them together, so it looks like I might be able to do some tug of war. Who wins on the x's, the top or the bottom? Who wins on the x's, top or bottom? Bottom by how many? 1. So x or x to the 1st. And then tug of war with the y's, who wins, top or bottom? Top by how many? Here's your answer. And then 28 was the last one was asked. 28. Okay. This whole thing is grouped. Now sometimes it makes it easier to reduce a fraction first, the numeric fraction first, then distribute into 3. Okay? So it's your call. If you want to have 24 to the 3rd power and 15 to the 3rd power and then start reducing it, or you could say, you know what, let's try and reduce 24 and 15. So what's the largest number that goes into both 24 and 15? 3. Good. 3 goes into 24 8 times. 3 goes into 5 3 times. And then I have this, and I have this. And it's still grouped. Okay, is that all right so far? Yeah. Did you just say goose? I just reduced 24 over 15. 3 went into both. Oh, wait. That's a 5, isn't it? That's a 5. Oh, shoot. Thank you. 5. Thank you. All right. Now, we good now? Okay. All right, so let's get rid of this exponent thing. So this is going to come in here. It's going to come here. It's going to come down here. It's going to come here. So I get 8 to the 3rd. 8 times 8 times 8. Any shot? Got a calculator, right? 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 64 is? 512?
It's 7. Oh wait, 8 times 8. It's 512.
512. Cool. So 8 times 8 times 8 is 512. X to the 7th to the 3rd is x to the 21st. And then 5 to the 3rd is 5 times 5 times 5, which should be 125. And then x to the negative 3rd to the 3rd is x to the negative 9. Now, I reduced the fraction originally, so that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I raise my exponent to now. 512 over 125 will not reduce. Okay, so it's going to stay like that. What is my last step here? What's my last thing I should do? Not tug of war, because that's a negative exponent, so that moves up, right? So my answer is going to be 512 over 125. If that moves up, how many x's are on top?
30.
X to the 30. Excellent. So that is my answer. Woo! Nice. Okay. Will you make sure your name is on that and anything else you're passing forward? And pass those forward, please. Noticing. Our assignment is going to be page 9 and 10. Now, I did hand out a packet to you last week, yes? That's the last one. So you, if you haven't done it yet, you will need to go over to the bookstore, Bare Necessities, and for $5, buy the CP Algebra 1 second semester book. Okay? And I believe on the front of it, it says number 358. It says number 358. It should be blue. You bought the red one you bought last semester. Okay? So, if you can't afford it, that's not my knowledge. I don't need to know that, nor does anyone else in the class. Go see your counselor. They will give you a little coupon. You go over to the bookstore and you get the exact same book. Okay? And again, I don't need to know what financial status is, nor does anyone in the class. It's no one's business. It's yours. Okay? But page 9 and 10 will be worked on tomorrow. Also, or due tomorrow. Also, there is a Schoology quiz number 2, and it'll be due Friday at 11:59 p.m. But you can get it done. I think it's 3 total questions. I think there's 2 multiple choice and a true false. I think that's what it is.
Okay, that's easy.
Okay? It's worth 4 points. Do the best you can on it. Okay, don't just guess. If you don't do it, it's not going to hurt your grade. If you do it, it's going to give you a little bit of cushion because it falls into the test quiz category. And that's good. Okay? But the hard thing is, you're like, hey, what can I do to bring up my grade? And I go back and look, you've never once done one of the Schoology things I'm going to give. I'm going to give one every week, and it's going to be worth 4 points. Yeah. And so if you are that, hey, I'm going to choose to do it, you might be pretty satisfied with what happens to your grade. If you don't do it and you still do cruddy on tests and quizzes, you don't have anything that's going to cushion you.
Wait, you're doing every week for the full term semester?
Yeah.
Yay!
18? 17 left? Yeah.
Does that have my grade? Because I got it wrong.
What'd you get on it? 3.16?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an 80%, 77%. So do better on the next one.
Wait, so let's say you get a not great grade on it.
On this, you will. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Okay. But it gets put in the grade book no matter what grade it is.
If you don't do it, it just sits there as a blank category. So it's not influencing your grade one way or the other.
But what if you do really poorly? Then does that go in the grade book as
Because that would be the conversation I could have saying, hey, why are you doing so poorly with me? So, okay. Everyone know what to do? Everyone happy? 4 days of this week? I'll try not to squeeze 5 days of lectures in.